not here.
Who?
Mr. Herrick.
He has another infection?
Okay, what does the word debt implies what?
You owe. You're owing money.
You owe
money.
to
Someone.
someone else, okay? So debt actually just means that you are using someone else's money. Okay, so if you have a house, are you in debt? Like if you have a mortgage, sorry. If you have a mortgage, are you in debt?
Yes.
Whose money are you using?
The bank.
It's not technically the bank's, but sure. Technically, whose money is it?
The other people who put their money in the bank.
Yeah, other people who store their money within the bank. That's whose money you are borrowing. But the bank is managing it, so they are the ones who collect the interest. So if you have credit card debt, whose money are you using?
Credit card company.
The credit card companies, okay? It's their money, it's not your money. That's the big difference between credit cards and debit cards. On a debit card, you are using your money. On a credit card, you are using their money. And that's why you have to pay interest on it if you still owe at the end of each month. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at today is how you pay off a credit card and how you can end up paying a lot of finance charge. So turn to page 154. This lesson is a little tedious, like 4-3, but it's shorter. It's so much shorter, and it's actually pretty easy as far as the concept. You just have to set up the table, which makes it kind of tedious. So if we look at this table, each month the balance is changing, the finance charge is changing. They're going to keep the new purchases the same, and then we have a current balance, we have a payment, and we have a final balance. Notice that on this table, they're just paying the minimum payment, right? So from January to February, they have new purchases. It's going up $93 because they made a payment of $33. They keep making payments, but their balance isn't really going anywhere because that finance charge is kind of counteracting. If your finance charge is $26 and you're only paying $33, how much are you paying to principal? If they're charging you a finance charge of $26, but you're making a payment of $33, how much is actually changing? $7. That's it. So you're making a payment of $33, but only $7 is actually hitting the account. And when we talk about houses, this is exactly how mortgages are. You make a $1,000 payment and only about $300, $150 actually goes to principal. Everything else goes to interest. Houses are the worst when you look at this payment chart. But credit cards are really not much better. So then on page 155, it's the same example, but in this case, they're not making any new purchases because they've probably found themselves in hot water. They can't get it paid down, so they stop making new purchases. But it's still, their impact is not increasing, really. If we look from August to September, there's $7 they paid off. From November to December, there's $6 they paid off. If you just make the minimum payment, there's a finance charge that's going to kind of eat that away. And this is how credit card companies make a ton of money. So if you look at A, it says beginning in January. So this was a whole entire year where Sonia is not making a very good payment. So it says beginning of January of the next year, she decides to pay $200 each month and take no more charges on her credit card. What will the balance be at the end of 6 months? So we're going to have to solve through this. So let's build our chart to start with. So we're going to have January, February, March, April, May, and June. Okay, our table is going to have the previous balance. Oops. It will also have finance charge or interest. Are we going to have any new purchases? No, that's what they said. No more purchases, so we don't have to worry about that column. But I'm just going to put it here so we kind of know. When you go to build your table later, you will need new purchases, but in this case, we're not going to have any. So then we'll have current balance. Payment, final balance. Once we have our final balance, that becomes the beginning balance of the next month, right? So we just go in a big circle. We subtract things, we add things, and then it goes in a big circle from there. So, what's our beginning balance in January?
2,513 and 65 cents.
Right, 2,513.65. That came from the final balance in December. They had made a payment. Okay. So how do we calculate our finance charge? What is our magical equation? Yes, I equals PRT.
Where is this at? What page is this on?
154, 155, but it's going to use some of the information from 154. So if we look at 154, what does it say our APR is? Look at the top of page 154. This is a combined problem.
15%.
Yes, APR of 15%. Okay. So our principal is going to be, if you want to type it in your calculators, 513.65. Oh, sorry. 2513.65. And my interest rate is what?
15%.
15%, 0.15. What's my amount of time? How much time?
6 months.
No, just for January.
Oh, wow.
1 over,
Well,
good. 3142, okay? Okay, is that going to be added in or taken out to have our new balance?
taken out. Okay,
Added in.
actually, added.
Added in. We're gonna owe the finance charge, right? So 2513.65. Okay, and then it says she's making a payment of how much now? 200. So we're gonna subtract that. Okay, so our final balance is going to be 2345.07 for January. We have to solve all the way down to June. Okay, so I'm going to kind of rapidly solve these and stop along the way maybe. So what's my new balance for February? Just to make that part clear.
23.4507.
Good, 2345.07. Okay, so I'm going to take that number, I equals PRT. What's my rate?
0.15.
And then time,
1 over 12.
1 over 12. So 29.31. Should my finance charge amount be going up or going down?
Going down.
Why?
Because you're constantly taking out.
Yeah, so my balance is decreasing by $200 every time, and so my finance charge should be getting lower. Good. Okay, so then my current balance is 2345.07 plus 29.31.23 minus 200. Okay, so that becomes my new balance. And take that times 0.15 divided by 12. 27.18. So again, the math's not hard, it's just kind of tedious. This is a lot easier than 4-3, I think. Hopefully I'm doing this right. I don't think anyone else is doing it, which is fine. 2 more months. Oops, 41. Oops, 6.2. Okay, so at the end of 6 months, the balance would be $1,470.03. So even making $200 payments for 6 months, so that's $1,200. She only paid it down about $1,000 because the rest went to interest. So her beginning balance was $2,000 last January. Who knows where that came from? But she's been trying to pay it off now for a year and a half, still doesn't have it paid off because she's still not making a big enough payment. It would have been smarter for her to just pay off that $2,000 when it first came up, right? Because she's going to be chipping away at it for a long, long time. And this is the picture of typical Americans, honestly. Okay, so let's look at this green chart right here. You're not going to have to refer back to it, I don't think. I think this is just to show you what it would look like. So if you were only making the minimum payment, if you had a beginning balance of $500, if you only made the minimum payment, it would take you 6 years and 7 months to pay it off. You would pay interest of $289.59, and you would pay $700, almost $800 just to pay it off. Now, if you had a balance of $8,000 and you only made the minimum payment, it would take you 94 years and 9 months. And you would pay $37,000 in interest and pay $45,000 total. Don't do that.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, it's crazy. And the typical American has $10,000. I looked it up on Thursday. The typical American has $10,000 in credit card debt. Average. That means that some are really low. I mean, like, there are people with 0, right? I have 0. And 10,000 is the median, or is the, median. So there are some people that have like $40,000, $50,000 in credit card debt. And if they only make the minimum payment, they're literally never going to pay it off. And that's how credit card companies make money. They don't want you to pay it off. Okay? Just wait until we look at mortgages. That'll make you even sicker. All right. The next equation you need, and then you're pretty much good to go, is on page 156. Debt to income. This is a ratio. So we take our debt payments over our gross income. Okay, and right below that is, this is to like track how healthy your spending is or how healthy your debt is. So if it is 36% or less, you'll get a percent from this. This will be a percent. And if it's 36% or less, then you're pretty healthy. You're fine. This includes credit cards, mortgages, car payments, all of that. So if you're 36% or less, 36% of all of your income is going to debt, then you're pretty healthy. If it is 37 to 42, you're kind of high. 43 to 49 is not good, and anything over 50 is dangerous. Is a dangerous position to be in. Okay, so if we look at C, Hollister earns $3,000 each month. Okay, so that's the gross income. And he pays $500 a month for housing and $50 for other debt payments. So total debt payments are
550.
$550. What is my percentage then?
18%.
18%? Is that good or bad?
It's high.
That's really good, actually.
He's kind of vibing.
That's so good.
That's really good.
He's a healthy man.
Good for that fellow.
Okay? I can tell you in my short adult life, because I'm very young. That was a joke. But in my young adult life, I have been in multiple categories of 50% or more going to debt and 36% or less going to debt. And I can tell you that the stress level between those two percentages are very noticeable. When you're drowning in debt, it's awful. It's an awful feeling that when you get your paycheck, like none of it goes to you, it all goes to debt. When a lot of your debt is paid off, that's where you feel most free and you have the most fun. You want to have fun with the money that you earn. All right, so Lorna, let's do D real quick. Lorna earns $2,050 each month. She pays $800 a month for housing and $250 for other debt payments. What is her debt to income ratio? So she pays $1,050. 51%. So is that good or bad? Hi.
No bueno.
Not
I
good.
think she's doing good, you know.
Not good. She needs to either make more money or have less debt.
I mean, it's just one thing.
Yeah, but
She's kind of vibing.
I'm telling you, really anything over like 45 is not good. Not good at all.
We're gonna take you
Oh,
ice
you look
cream,
like you're,
Lauren.
you're definitely well invested.
You
man.
were
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
go to
surprised
school,
you're
we were
here.
gonna take you ice cream.
I am the Larry King.
I wasn't gonna come.
See, Lisa? Probably would have keep being
The
dead
mask
right now.
hides any
It's too
swelling
well
you might have. Okay, and the last thing that it's talking about, hold on. I'm almost done, so I can stop the recording. The last thing, they just talk about a consolidation loan, which is a terrible idea, so don't do it. Just pay off your debt. Just pay off your debt, okay? We'll talk about why, I don't know, sometime, but don't do a consolidation debt. This book is wrong. It's a terrible idea. Just pay off your debt. Pay it off. Don't consolidate it. Don't pay the fees. Just pay it off, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do,
1 through
1 through 1.
I like that. 1 through 1.
Yeah.
no.
Each side.
So page 158.
1 through 1 each.
Yes.
Kyle.
11 through
11.
29.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure she
Odds?
probably like made it bigger because.
Odds?
No, I didn't. I was looking, last year I'd done 18 through 29, and I was trying to figure out why I would do that.
Evens.
Evens?
Evens?